Hi guys, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters. Thank you for joining me for the Scrappy Sisters Scrap September number 12. So this is my take on the paint prompt. So I have collected as many different paints as I can from my Kaisercraft acrylic paint range, and then I've also done a little bit of mixing to mix up a total of 12 colours, because I would like to draw 12 circles, because I've got 12 little photos that I'm going to die cut into circles for this layout. So I'm holding the die there in my hand of what size the circles are going to be, so I just know to paint my circles a little bit larger than that. So I have mixed together a dark purple. I'm now mixing together a slightly lighter coloured purple, and as you can see, I'm trying to put these through in rainbow colour. So you can sort of see on the plate there that I've kind of got them laid out in the correct order that I would like them to be. So purple to blue to green to yellow to orange to pink to red to pink. And I'm just mixing through a couple of the different colours there, just mixing in some white with a couple of my straight other colours, just to try and lighten up or the tones of some of those colours there, so I can try and get 12 different colours. And I need 12 because I've got 12 photos. So this acrylic paint is water based, so I'm just cleaning my brush with a little cup of water, and because I am too lazy to change the water as it gets darker and darker and darker, I have got in my hands just a normal old serviette that I'm just wiping the brush off onto, and that helps get off any residual colour, because obviously I've started with the darkest colour and have moved to the lighter colour, and so I don't want those dark colours showing through. Possibly could have been more sensible to start with the lightest colour, but I didn't do that, so yes. I actually had no problem though. I didn't have any paint show through. I cleaned my brush enough that it was fine. So I'm just putting these 12 circles on a little bit higgledy-piggledy. I do go back and try and fix them up a little bit, but I want them to be a little bit messy. I don't want perfect circles. I want to see a little bit of white popping through. I want the paint heavier in some places and lighter in others. I want it to look a little bit messy. I did not prep my paper at all for this layout, mostly because I don't own gesso, but also because bit of a contradictory statement. Obviously there are 12 circles of paint, but it's not thick paint, it's not heavy paint the way that I've painted it on. So there isn't actually a lot of moisture going into the page. So I didn't need to do anything to dress my paper in this case. It did not warp, it didn't bend or pucker or anything like that from where the paint has been. So it was totally fine to not have my paper prepped in this occasion. So that worked out well in my favour because I don't have any gesso. So yeah, I'm just about finished with the painting. I kept that bit quite nice and long because that was the prompt for this month, to use paint, and I really wanted you guys to see how I did that in my layout. So now I have got 12 little photos. These are quite small. On a normal 4x6 photo, there is 8 of them on here. That's what size they are. So of the normal 4x6 photo, 8 little photos fit onto there. So that's how tiny these little photos are. And I'd planned to cut them using my largest circle for the diamond press die, but they didn't fit. That large circle was too large, so I've gone one circle down lower. I'm sorry, I don't know what sizes that is. If you have a diamond press, you possibly know what I'm talking about. I would have it a guess the largest circle is about an inch, maybe an inch and a half, but I'm not 100% sure. So after I cut all these circles out, I realized that they needed a little something. So I went through my scrap bin and I pulled out enough scraps of color in all of the shades that I had painted the circles on with. Before I backed my circle photos onto those circles of color, so here I am doing the dark purple maroony color, I realized that they needed a little bit of a pop, a little bit of something else. So I really wanted to back each of the photos in white first, before then backing them onto the coloured coloured paper. The problem I had is that I don't have a die in between. So I've cut the white and the purple in the largest circle, and then my photo is in the one circle smaller. So I'm backing the photo onto the white, and then I'm going to have to hand fussy cut out around the circle just to give it a nice small border. Now obviously this means that the white circles won't be cut perfectly, but it's the best I can do seeing as I don't have a circle size in between the photo or the purple. And then I'm going to back it onto the purple and it will be ready to go. So I'm going to do that with all 12 of my photographs. So off screen, I've gone ahead and backed all my circles onto white and fussy cut those out. And now you can see the pile of scraps I've got in front of me of all the different shades that I dug out of my scrap bin. And I'm now just backing the photographs with the white onto all of those colored circles. And they're going to go onto their corresponding painted circle. So I'm just about done now. Just got the last two to go, or last one to go now. I just skipped ahead because I didn't think you needed to watch that. So there we are with my 12 circles matching. So then what I'm doing is I'm getting foam dots, foam thickers, and I am popping up each of the photos to give them a little bit of dimension on the page. So I started off just sticking these circles on just higgledy-piggledy wherever within their circle, and realized it was starting to look a little bit messy and a little bit untidy. So I actually went back and sort of pulled up some of the photographs and just tried to make them as straight as I could. So I tried to make it so that the photos were in nice straight lines and rows because I thought that looked a little bit better for the layout. So I'm just showing you there the collections that I'm using. So my chipboard letters are from that Bella, the yellow Bella chipboard letters. They're quite old. I couldn't actually tell you how old they are. I got those in a stash given to me by a girlfriend getting rid of all of her collection. And then the collectibles are the My Year, My Story Kaisercraft collectibles. And those collectibles are just perfect for what I want to do with this layout. They've got only black and white and then a couple of shades of colour, and those shades of colour just fitted perfectly with the colours I had used on my layout. So I pulled out all the different colours and I'm seeing which of those match in with the colours. And then I really wanted to use this black and white camera because I just thought it was gorgeous for the idea of so many photos on a page. But if I want to use that black and white camera, I know I'm going to need to include some more black and white later. So I'm just pondering how to do that while I pop out my title. So as I said, these are some really old chipboard letters from Bella, I think it is called. I'm just going to have a quick squiz in my craft room. Chips Bella, 132 pieces total, chipboard for scrapping and all paper crafts. So they are not sticky. I have to glue those down. So in a moment off screen, I will glue down everything, all of my ephemera and all of my chipboards, because once I place these down on the page that you can see me doing, they don't move. I love the way they look and I stick them exactly where they are. So as I mentioned, if I want to use the black and white camera, I feel like I need some other black and white elements. So I went and got my diamond press again and my largest circle die, because that's the size I need to be to fit perfectly around this square and to not cut off any of the sentiment. And I'm just turning some of these black and white sentiments into circles. The circles tie in better with all the circles on the page, and it just looked a little bit less harsh than introducing a square. So I just pick a couple of these sentiments that I felt really tied in or matched what was happening on the day, or as close as possible. Sometimes you can't get exactly perfect saying. And then I do 3 of those because I just like to be, a little bit odd numbers, groups of 3, and pop those around. And then I think I'm just about done. And then I find this super cute little pineapple that I think, I can use that. It's a pineapple. It's fun. And I just pop that underneath the word farm. So I am finished. So I glue all of that down off screen because, as I said, I don't move any of the items. And now I'm just having a play with some enamel dots. So these enamel dots are from the Reject Shop. These are probably my favourite enamel dots. They're $2.50 a packet here in Australia. They come in, I think, 3 or 4 different types. The colours only vary slightly, but it's enough. They're just gorgeous. So I've got all 3 packets out and I'm just matching up the colours to the different colours on the page because I want to put the light colours together, and I am so stoked with how this is looking. I've got to tell you, I don't often finish a layout and I'm like jumping for joy, but this is probably one of the favourite layouts I've made in a long time. I was just really impressed with the way it turned out. I had a really good idea in my head of how I wanted it to look, but I just had no idea if that's what would eventuate, and it did. So I'm super excited. I found an idea similar to this from Pinterest. That's where the idea came from, and I thought to myself, oh, I'll never be able to make it as beautiful as you see on Pinterest. I won't have the correct supplies. Turns out I did, and I am so thrilled with how this looks, which is awesome. So just finished now, so no Heidi Shine to finish this one off. I didn't think it needed it. So you can see there the dimension there that the pop dots make behind the photos. I do that a lot, actually, put figures behind the photos just to pop it up a little bit. And I'm just thrilled with the way it looks, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this one. I hope you have been playing along with our Scrappy Sisters Scrap September. As I said earlier, we are up to day 12. How are you going? Please remember to hashtag us with SS Scrap September on Instagram so we can see what you are doing. We are super excited to have you guys playing along with us and checking out what's happening. We've still got a lot of days left in September, so hopefully you can, if you're only just joining us now, hopefully you can join in. So thanks, guys. Please like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. Bye.